This is the sigil. So you see, when Cass is writing this stuff on the damn wall, they invoking the demonic spirits, man, to come in. This is why the Most High said what he said, man. Yo, this is insane that I just seen this. All right.
2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You know what I mean? So right there, it tells you not to be ignorant of the devices of that devil, man, the fallen angels. You know, don't be walking around here, you know, like fools. And we can see right there in that first clip, and I seen this a few days ago. You know, I'm just getting to it right now in this lesson. You know, while I was outside, you know, that's a sigil. That's a sigil of the fallen angel Azazel, man. You know, some witch or some warlock put that there, and you know, these things, like I was saying in the video, they could open up portals to bring demonic entities into certain, you know, provinces, into certain, you know, jurisdictions, man. You know, and then this is why the Most High said what he says. You know, when he told him, like, hey, when you go into these other lands in ancient days, you know, hey, destroy all that crap that they have there. You know, because you know, people could cast spirits into certain things. You know, with these sigils. This is not a game, man. So we're gonna take a look at this. A little bit more, few examples of where I've seen these things before. So right here, this is the sigil of the fallen angel Azazel, and like I always said in my videos, you know, these angels, they have certain marks. You know, and they have certain codes or marks, or you know, that you can identify them with when you see them. You know, and I recognize that one. You know, like the scripture says, don't be ignorant of his devices. Don't be walking around here as fools, because you know, the average person walking around, they seen that, they think it's just some graffiti on the wall. No, it's not. You know, like the scripture said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You know, so it's spirits that govern certain, you know, certain areas, man. And so, like I said, some warlock or some witch spray painted that on there, man. That's a sigil of the fallen angel Azazel, man. So we see here side by side comparison, you know, very, very similar, you know. And I started brainstorming this, like, you know, where else have I seen these things, you know? This is what I came up with. Right here, Memphis Bleak. That looks very similar, you know, to a sigil. Now, a lot of people say, oh, no, he's just flashing his chains. Nah, he ain't just flashing his chains. Like, a lot of things that they do, you know, on the album covers, you know, are coded. It's signs. Like I said, if you don't know what you're looking at, it's not going to make sense to you. But when you look at that sigil and you look at his album cover, it looks very similar. We know a lot of these guys bowed down, you know, to the fallen angels, and whoever they bowing down to, you know, they're gonna show you, you know, through their signs, through their symbolisms, you know. And if you don't understand these things, it's just like, look, you're walking around here as a fool, like the scripture says, you know. Oh man, side by side comparison, you know, it's very, 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 very similar. You know, I don't. It's not a coincidence. He's just doing that. You know, oh man, that sigil of Azazel, man. You know, this is what these niggas is doing, channeling these spirits, man. Like I said, to give them ideas, you know, certain things, and they gotta bow down to them, you know. All right, so I was looking at I started looking for you know, more sigils. You know, I don't know how accurate this chart is, but the only two that I recognize is the one that I circle in the red. I would say, I should say, I would say recognize. I said it looks similar to things that I've seen before is the ones that I circle, and of course the pentagram at the bottom. We all have seen, you know, that satanic pentagram. You know, so like I said, these angels, you know, they all have certain marks on them. You know, that you can identify them as, and those two, we're gonna show you where I've seen those before, where they look similar to. You know, that first one, it looks like the app on your phone. You know, let's bring it up. So right here, you know, kind of giving me, you know, the square and compass vibes. You know, so this is what it looks like. You know, this is, I instantly recognize, you know, like it look kind of like the app on your phone, the application app. You know. All right, let's come back here for a little reference, you know, so you can see it again. And now let's go to the second one. The second one looks like kind of like the CERN logo. You know, that's what came to mind when I first seen it. You know, and you know you can see like 666 in there, or the Google logo. You know, that's what came to mind when I first seen that chart. Like I said, I don't know how accurate that chart is, but like I said, it's the only thing that I really could find, you know. But we know, you know, these angels, you know, they have certain marks on them, you know. All right, let's go back to the first one. So you were seeing that logo on a certain artist's album cover. You look at that artist like Lupe Fiasco. That's not there by at random. We just showed you that you know the Sigil of the Fallen Angels, and we see, look at his album cover, and you see the same thing. And you guys gonna still say, you know, oh, it's a fairy tale, it's this and that. Yeah, you niggas keep playing with these things and see what you end up at the end, man. You know, you know, you can clearly see it on his album cover, man. Yo, you niggas stay the hell away from me with this stuff, man. I don't care how much money y'all got. Keep that away from me. You know. So, when you look at an artist like Lupe Fiasco, I mean, his first album, I mean, the dude had a Nintendo DS on his first album cover and radios and, you know, nice looking stuff. You get to the second album, it's all type of crazy stuff, man. Because they got to bow down, man. That's what they got to do, you know. And they want to, like I said, I always say, then they want to bring that mischief back to you, you know. Hold up, let's look at his second album. So this is his second album. It's weird as hell. There's some Arabic stuff on there. I don't know. He's a Muslim. He said he's a Muslim. But I mean, come on, out of all the artwork you could choose, you could put that on there. I don't know what the hell this stuff means. It goes into the sacred geometry and all that stuff. But that's a damn sigil. And you know, it got me to reminding of the what's his name? I think his name was John Todd. And he was talking about how they cast spells on the music, you know, or in the studio or whatever, before they send it out. And then I got to thinking, like, you know, and I start to understand now, like, okay, if they're casting spells on these music, and the Most High says, you know, we're not supposed to, you know, mess with this kind of stuff. You going over there, people don't buy physical copies no more. But let's just say, you know, you still did, you know, you going over there. Let me try to listen to this new Lupe Fiasco. You buy the physical copy. Now you got that sigil in your house, you know? Like, all they need is a portal to come through. They need a channel to come through. So you can be like, people be wondering, like, yo, how I get all these demons in here? Well, damn, you you just brought that device, you know, and the album booklet into your house. You know, and people not gonna look at it like that. You know, but this is real stuff. They need a channel to come through. You know, and this is what these guys is doing. Oh man, you know, I really understand what he was talking about. Like when you see the stuff that these guys is doing. You know, and of course, these the Most High winks at our ignorance. These demons can't touch you unless the Most High permits them to touch you. Like, for example, and I'm gonna put that link in the description box. The gangbanger. Remember, he said he was messing with doing the seances and stuff like that. And one night he felt like he was gonna die. Like I said, if you going around here and you messing with these stuff, you doing something incorrect, like you drawing a circle incorrect on whatever you mess around with this demonic crap. These things could actually kill you. You feel me? And torment you, man. You feel me? When you messing around with this kind of stuff. I'm gonna put that link in the description box, man. That's why I say you niggas stay the hell away from me with this stuff, man. Yeah. So we see like, yo, his first album is all innocent and stuff, and then we on there, you seeing all this stuff on his album, the album art. What's all this stuff? Because these niggas, they bowed down, man. They bowed down. Yeah, y'all can laugh at me all y'all want. It's right here. It's in y'all face. Let's look at the definition of a sigil. A sigil, a type of symbol used in magic. The term usually refers to a pictorial signature of a spirit, such as angel, demon, or deity. We're going to stop right there. We don't need to keep going. So I said, you see these guys writing this stuff on the wall outside. I recognize it. That's a sigil of Azazel right there. It's some warlock out here somewhere. You feel me? And that wasn't even in my neighborhood. I was way off somewhere. I don't remember where I was, but I seen it, and I was like, "What the hell?" See right here again. Origins and type sigils have historically been used to represent spiritual deities. We're gonna stop right there. Now, where else have I seen things like this? The Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You feel me? Like, you know, people used to play with this stuff, but like I said, you going in there, you getting this stuff as a kid, you playing with it innocently. Like I said, all these things, you already have that device in your house. You feel me? Like I said, all these things need is a portal to come through. You feel me? And people wonder why, you know, things is off sometimes. This is why I said, like, don't be ignorant of his devices. Don't mess with this kind of stuff. Don't be doing this kind of stuff, man. Because this is not a game to play with, man. These things are used to, you know, summon these fallen angels. This is what these guys do. You heard John Todd said they cast spells on the records. You know, well, I don't know what to have success. You can have success in evil things. You know, I don't know, man. Let's keep going. This way you got somebody like Birdman that'll put a damn star on his head. You think he put that star on his head just because he likes stars? No, he's trying to get these entities to come around him into him. You know what I mean? Yo, that's what I said. This is why, like I said, this is why these guys don't have a problem sacrificing your ass, because they already bowed down to them, man. And they're just gonna need more and more and more and more. You feel me? They need more. And like I said, these are the same beings that's gonna be dragging their ass into that pit. You know, they think it's a game. I mean, look at this guy. He got more than one. He got it all over his head. You think he put that on there because he just likes stars? No. These guys are gone, man. They gone. They off on the left, which is the side of wickedness, man. I said, man, I don't care how much money these niggas got. Keep that crap away from me, man. For real. You got somebody like an A$AP Rocky in this picture right here. This is what they've all done, man. They bowed down to them. He has a sigil in the middle of the air, standing up and doing his whatever he's doing, you know. That's what Rihanna said. She's a devil worshiper. Y'all think she was playing? They being serious. They being serious. And you see them climb to the top, and they can only do it if they bow down. This is what the Most High was saying. Look, they come around you, trying to influence you to go to the other nations and get down with stuff. You wax their ass. Don't like I said, because then these other nations is gonna start dominating you. Because don't bow down to these entities, man. Don't do it for the things that they have. And this is what they've done. This is what they've done. You see them putting it on their album cover. You see them putting it on their art. They tell me some of these guys think they slick. You know, you've seen guys writing it on a damn graffiti outside. You know, to open these portals to bring, certain spirits into certain provinces and jurisdictions that bring, like they could bring a you call it a spirit of death, a spirit of chaos, or whatever. You know. Oh man. This is crazy, man. You know, and speaking of all this, it reminded me of this verse from Jubilees. We're just going to start at 2, and this is talking about Canaan. And this is the Canaan from a legend of Shem, not Ham. People, you can get that mixed up easily. So it says, and his son grew, and his father taught him writing, and he went back to seek for himself a place where he might seize for himself a city. And he found a writing which former generations had carved on a rock. And he read what was thereon, and he transcribed it in sin owing to it, for it contained the teachings of the watchers, in accordance which they used to observe the omens of the suns and the moons and stars in all the signs of heaven. And he wrote it down and said nothing regarding it, for he was afraid to speak to Noah about it, lest he should be angry with him on account of it. So you see, this is what Canaan found back then. Some writings that the watchers had carved on the rock, and he wrote all this stuff down and took it back with him. I mean, all this is forbidden knowledge and stuff like that the Most High didn't want us to deal with. You know, but yeah, bro. I mean, I guess that's it, man. I don't know, man. That I wasn't even gonna do this lesson. I had this lesson queued up, man, and I was like, man, I ain't gonna do this. And then when I seen that writing as Azazel on the wall, I guess that was the Most High pushing me to do it, you know. Because I had this queued up, and I guess that was the Most High showing me, like, look, hey, you gotta do this lesson, because I wasn't gonna do it, you know. But when I seen that marking of Azazel, I was like, all right, the Most High he probably wants me to push this one out, man. Yeah, man. I remember John Ramirez saying that a while back, man. That some of the these graffiti that you see on the wall is certain demons that's running over certain jurisdictions, man. You know. But yeah, man. Hopefully this was edifying, man. And this is crazy. These niggas is doing this, man. And they gonna give you another explanation as to what it is, man. Oh no, it's not that. It's just art. And get the hell out of here, man. You guys, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm cool off that.